From Nairobi, Kenya's capital, welcome to BRK Show. I am Brian Karani, your host, and this is a show that brings you all the evocative news on health, politics, education, sports, arts and culture from Kenya and around the world. All this straight to your electronic devices. But first, here's a look at major stories doing rounds around the globe. President Uhuru Kenyatta has received an award from the United Nations as the UN Young People's Agenda Champion, a post in which he was unanimously endorsed. The initiative to get every young person into quality education, training or employment by 2030 is a partnership between United Nations Youth Strategy 2030 and Generation Unlimited, aimed at catalyzing pro-youth actions to address the dreams, ambitions and hopes of 1.8 young people globally. Prince William landed in Namibia on Monday, his first stop in a tour of Africa, in a bid to learn more about wildlife conservation in Africa ahead of the 2018 Illegal Wildlife Trade Conference in London next month. The South African country is the home of the largest population of black rhinos in Africa. He is expected in Kenya on Sunday 30th this month in what he called a renewal of his love for Africa. While in the country, he will visit the 1st Battalion, the Irish Guards Battle Group, who will be training in the country under the British Army Training Unit, Kenya. In his role as colonel of the regiment, the Irish Guards Battle Group will include an infantry company from the Kenyan Army. Kensington Palace stated that, and I quote, "His Royal Highness will see how British and Kenyan troops are training together to improve performance on operations for the benefit of both countries." Swahili language might be an official continental language in Africa if the leader of South Africa's Economic Freedom Fighters Party, Julius Malema, has anything to say about it. Malema made the remarks at a media briefing held by the EFF in Johannesburg. He stated that Africa needs to be a borderless continent under one president, one parliament, and with one currency in order to bring Africans together. He acknowledged that East Africa has already made Swahili an official language and the African Union recognizes Swahili just as well. On to our main story of the day. Could Swahili become the official continental language? South Africa's economic freedom fighters have given the option of one continent under one president, one parliament and with one currency in a bid to boost economic progress and development in Africa. The EFF, through their leader Julius Malema, stated that Swahili should be made the official language for Africans. This comes just before US-based social media company Twitter bowed to pressure from a group of Kenyans who used the hashtags Swahili is not Indonesian and Twitter recognized Swahili to convince the social media giant. The language is an official and national language in Kenya and Tanzania and it is spoken by over 100 million people in the continent. If it does indeed make it to Africa's official language, why then are many Kenyans poor at the language? The government of Kenya recently launched the National Kiswahili Council, which aims at developing, protecting and supporting the usage of the national language. The government did this in a bid to save the language from poor usage and distortion. Now, quickly moving over to our social media pages, and we have a few comments from some of our viewers. And Ezra China says, "It is about time Swahili was recognized globally. English cannot be a measure of one's intelligent." Another comment from Kenyan Simba, "Swahili should have been the official language for Africa ages ago. It could be the unifying factor in our continent. Keep tweeting using the hashtag BRK." And with that, we hand you over to our correspondent with this episode's feature story.
Kenya is a blessed country with diverse culture, which brings arts, music, dressing, and even language. Many Kenyans speak one language they can all understand, and that is Swahili. The language been Kenya's national language since 1970, when the government then said that it was to be the mandatory language for all Kenyans. With time, the people stopped speaking in Swahili, and the young people coined their own hip way of speaking, and Sheng was born. Nowadays, it is widely spoken by almost all Kenyans, and it is a fast-changing language, with each having unique words. Sheng is usually a mixture of Swahili and other languages, mostly vernacular, and it does affect how some people write or speak. There have been hilarious cases where pupils in primary schools have had to be corrected by their teachers after innocently writing words that they think are official Swahili words. Reporting for BRK Show, I am Madoni Dirango.
Thank you very much. That was Muthoni Ndirango, our correspondent for tonight's feature. Now then, to help us better understand the state of our national language in Kenya, today we are joined by three guests who will shed more light on the topic. First, I would like to welcome Henriette Mugabo, a Rwanda national living in Kenya and studying communication at Daystar University. Welcome, Henriette. As a foreigner in a country that speaks mostly in Swahili and the slang of the language, how do you cope with communicating with your peers?
Well, thank you first of all. I would say like a foreigner, first of all I'm grateful that most people speak English here in Kenya. But on the other part there are people, who don't talk English, so I had to adapt and learn some few words in Swahili so that it could help me maybe say something to those people who don't talk English. Yeah.
How many Kenyans have you met who speak in fluent Swahili?
Well, there I'm not sure if I can say because I don't know which one is fluent, but maybe I would say that some friends that come from Mombasa, yeah, they speak good Swahili. Yeah.
Do you feel like Kenyans are proud of Swahili?
Well, I don't know. I can't be the judge, but if you look at the way they made Swahili, like Shang and all, you can see that there's some words. Maybe I don't know if it's hard. I don't know if it's.
Our next guest
if it's called,
is Mr.
it's
Francis
swag
Salonic,
or
a
something
teacher
on
of
top
Swahili at the National Museum of Kenya. Welcome to the
Yeah,
show.
but I wouldn't say that they don't like
Francis,
it.
how hard or easy
yeah.
is it to teach Swahili to foreigners?
To teach Swahili to foreign students is easy in such a way that they have the interest to learn the language. They are motivated in many ways to learn the language, since many of them come here to work. Some of them get married in Kenya and they would like to know the language. Some of them are researchers who carry research around Kenya, and to the places they go, they meet the local people whom sometimes do not know English, and they like to be expressed with the language they understand easily. So Kiswahili becomes the option. So we teach them according to the needs of the students. Many of them would like to know the correct grammar. In Kiswahili we call it Kiswahili Sanifu. And to many Kenyans, if once we're teaching a foreign student and compare him or her with the local people in Kenya, you'll see that the foreign student would like to know the correct grammar. Unlike in Kenya where people mix Kiswahili with the slang language.
What do you think is the main reason why many Kenyans fail in the language?
There are many reasons. One of them is they say Kiswahili is a hard language. Another reason is the slang language, that is Sheng, whereby at the secondary level And even at the university level, students are affected by the Sheng language. So even in writing, when you are marking the exam, when you are marking a composition, when you are marking the insha, you will find that many of the errors that students make is because of the slang language. That's one of the reasons why people fail in Kiswahili in the secondary level and even in the tertiary level. And the notion that Kiswahili is a hard language. It's a hard language to learn. Especially when it comes to in English, in Kiswahili we say ngeli za Kiswahili.
Lastly, I would like to invite Mr. Robert Osiri, a public relation officer at Brand Kenya, who will give us his views on the way Swahili has been used by the government to enhance tourism. Welcome, Mr. Robert. So, Swahili has garnered a lot of interest in Africa. How do you think this will affect the region, more so Kenya?
Asante sana Brian kwa swali hilo. Kiswahili hasa katika Kenya tunaichukulia kama lugha ya taifa, lakini kwa wakati mwingi watu hawatumii lugha hiyo. Wanatumia Kiingereza ama Kizungu vile wengine wanavyosema. Lakini kwa maoni yangu mimi mwenyewe ninaona ya kwamba Kiswahili kizidi kutumika katika nchi ya Kenya kwa sababu tunaipeleka kama lugha ya taifa na tunastahili tuitumie zaidi ili hata tuweze kufunza hata watoto wetu wale ambao wanakuwa waweze kutambua kwamba Kiswahili ni lugha ya taifa. Ndiposa tuweze kwamba kuna ule mshikamano kati ya watu wote wa Kenya. Kwa sababu wakati mwingi watu wanapotumia Kiingereza, unajua kuna kuwa na ile tabaka ya kwamba wanaojua Kiingereza ni wale ambao wamefanya nini? Wamesoma. Lakini ikiwa kwamba unatumia Kiswahili ni kwamba hujasoma. Ningependa kuwakosoa ya kwamba Kiswahili, unapozungumza Kiswahili sio kwamba hujasoma. Umesoma. Hii ni lugha yetu, tunastahili kuitumia ili tuweze kuleta ule uwiano kati yetu, kwamba Kiswahili ni lugha ambayo inatuleta sisi wote pamoja, tunakuwa kitu kimoja.
How has Brand Kenya used language from the different cultures in Kenya to enhance tourism?
Kwa kutumia Kiswahili, shirika la Brand Kenya limeweza kwamba kwa wakati mwingi tumeweza tukitembea kwamba katika mashule na kuweza kuwahimiza wanafunzi pale shuleni waweze kutia bidii katika kuweza kuzungumza Kiswahili ili tuweze kuwa na ule utangamano mzuri kati ya Wakenya wote. Na Kiswahili hasa zaidi tunapochukulia mfano kama Tanzania wanatumia Kiswahili wote. Huwezi jua ni kabila gani kwa Mtanzania kwa sababu wote wanazungumza lugha moja. Ingekuwa kwamba tunazungumza hiyo lugha moja, tungekuwa kwamba tunajiuza kwa njia iliyo nzuri. Hata tunapoangalia kwamba utamaduni wa Masai, tunajivunia utamaduni wa Masai zaidi kwa sababu wameweza kutunza utamaduni wao. Na hivyo tungeweza kwamba tumetunza Kiswahili chetu vivyo hivyo, ni kwamba taifa letu pia tungekuwa tunashirikiana zaidi hata na Watanzania. Unajua kwa wakati mwingine kwamba tunakosa kuelewana na Watanzania kwa sababu wanazungumza Kiswahili zaidi na sisi hatuzungumzi Kiswahili, kwamba biashara mingi unapata kwamba hazifanyiki kwa sababu hatuelewani. Lakini shirika la Brand Kenya linazidi kutia motisha na kutia bidii kuwahamasa watu waweze kutumia Kiswahili ili tuzidi kufanya biashara na wale wenzetu ambao wanazungumza Kiswahili.
Can Swahili be appreciated and used openly as an official language in the same way English is in maybe the corporate world?
Kiswahili naam kinaweza kubalika, lakini ikiwa kwamba tutabadilisha mawazo yetu. La msingi hapa ni kubadilisha mawazo yetu. tujue kwamba pia Kiswahili ni lugha ambayo inaweza tumika kufanya biashara, kwamba tunapoitumia hii lugha tunaweza zungumza na tunaweza wasiliana na wengine ambao tutafanya biashara nao. Lakini ikiwa kwamba hatutabadilisha mtazamo wetu kuhusu Kiswahili, hapo ninakuhakikishia kwamba lugha hii.
Thank you very much for your insights,
lakini
gentlemen.
tutakapobadilisha mtazamo wetu, bila shaka lugha hii itakubalika na kuweza kutumika.
Now, going to our social media handles, I can see our viewers are engaging with us via Twitter. And Samuel Moeti says, "It is sad how Kenyans do not appreciate our national language as compared to Tanzanians. We need to own the language and be proud of it. Hashtag Kiswahili kitukuzwe." State of the language, and I do agree with them that Swahili can do well to unite more countries in Africa and give us all a sense of pride of belonging to this great continent. With that, I thank you for tuning in and engaging with us on social media and your text. Do remember to subscribe and comment more on our topic of the day on our Twitter handle, and let us keep the conversation going. I've been your host, Brian Karani, and from myself and my team at BKR News Show, do take care of yourself. Until next time.